It is high time somewhere.
Sir, I will just try to share from here, see whether it works.
Yeah, it's all right. You are loud and clear, and we can see
Yes, sir.
you. Sir, are you sitting in the garden?
PowerPoint I have to open first or?
Yes.
Then I have to.
आप करिए, खुद ही करिए, मैं बताता हूँ। वो उस पे आइए, मीटिंग शेयर स्क्रीन पे यहाँ क्लिक कीजिए।
नहीं हो रहा है।
पूछ लीजिए।
सर, कैन यू सी माई स्क्रीन?
या
दिखा रहा है स्क्रीन। ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर।
So, Mr. Rajgopal Sureka will start.
यस सर, ठीक है, हम वेट करेंगे सर। या 5 बजे के लिए तो टाइम है।
हाँ, ठीक है। And at the end, I will come.
ओके सर, ठीक है
for conclusion. Okay, sir.
जरूर सर।
So, how are you keeping?
या फाइन सर, थैंक यू।
Shall we start?
Sir, can we start now?
हाँ, आई एम रेडी सर। और 4 मिनट है तो आपकी मर्जी।
3-4 मिनट।
आई एम रेडी सर, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Okay, sir. I hear you are becoming very busy these days.
Yes, sir. Nowadays, very, because we are doing many courses. Okay. So, finding time is becoming very difficult, sir.
Acha, we are going to have a program in Calcutta
हाँ, कब सर?
at the moment on 14th of December
14th.
in the morning.
Oh,
I will give you a link.
okay, sir. Online है ना?
The program is Science and Society.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So,
कितना बजे सर?
some eminent scientists
Yeah.
and people, senior people from society in business world
Okay.
and other areas,
Yes, sir.
they will meet together
Okay, sir.
what they should jointly do for the betterment of society.
Okay, sir.
We are proposing that similar programs should be carried out in other cities, maybe some
Okay,
in
sir.
Bangalore too.
Okay.
So if we come to Bangalore, then we will
Yeah.
be at your doorstep, sir.
जरूर सर, आइयो। It's a pleasure.
So that now we can start.
Okay, sir.
Namaskar, respected sir and madams, on behalf of Bharatiya Vidya Mandir, I would like to take the privilege of welcoming all of you to this online lecture program on ethical dilemmas from mythological times to the modern times. The speaker on this topic is Dr. Prakash Rao, PJVKS, the retired scientist of ISRO. Dr. Rao retired as an outstanding scientist in Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, and has served as the Director, Space Infrastructure Program Office at ISRO headquarters in Bengaluru, reporting to the Chairman of ISRO. Dr. Prakash Rao is the laureate of ISRO Merit Awards in the recognition of his meritorious contribution to the Indian space program, and is a National Governing Council member of Indian Society of Systems Engineering. He served as an Executive Committee member of Astronautical Society of India for 2 terms. Considering his significant contribution, he was admitted as a Fellow of Astronautical Society of India. In his 37 years of experience as ISRO, Dr. Prakash Rao has worked in diverse areas of satellite systems such as test and evolution of sensors, control systems, digital systems, and power systems. Dr. Rao was chairman of the Project Monitoring Committee for 75 students satellite mission announced by our Prime Minister as a part of Azadi Ke Amrit Mahotsav and realized by Indian Technology Congress Association. I will request Dr. Rao to give his...
Thank you, Sureka ji. Thank you, Sureka ji, for your kind invitation and that introduction. And I would like to thank Dr. B.D. Mundra ji for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with a distinguished audience. So before I proceed, I just want to explain my title slide. You can see 3 images there because the title is Ethical Dilemmas from Mythological Times to Modern Times. We can see Lord Rama killing Wali from behind a tree, and one is a genetically engineered child, where we are calling nowadays future is a designer child, where you can choose how your child has to be, whether it has to be a high IQ or athletic skills or both of them, no diseases, no Alzheimer's, perfect vision. So it's perfectly all right from a parent's perspective, but ethically it may impose some constraints. And colonization of a planet like Mars by human beings. So there are again, as a science and technical feature, it's an amazing advancement. But what are the ethical issues? So this is what the overall landscape of my lecture. So, first of all, before talking about ethics, I question to myself whether I am qualified to talk about it. And I am afraid that the answer is no. Okay. Because to talk about ethics, one should be having very high standards for himself. So, as Gandhiji story goes, some child came and mother brought the child from 10 kilometers or something walking, they came. She told that, sir, he is eating too much of sugar. Doctor told him not to eat. So you please advise him not to eat. If you tell, he will listen, or something like that. Then he told that you come after a week, I will advise. Then after a week, she has gone all the way back walking and again came after a week. Then he told her, okay, boy, it's not good to eat sugar. You stop it. Then she told, for this, you could have told last week itself, sir, I had to go all the way and come back. Why you took 1 week for this? Then he told, I myself am fond of sugar. Before advising the child, I should know that whether I can do it or not. What I am not practicing, I should not preach. So the same way, I am afraid that it's very difficult for me to say that I can talk about ethics. But at the same time, and also, I'm sure that all of you are so learned people. You are all having much, much better perspectives, especially with respect to spirituality and all. The gathering here is much, much more accomplished. Actually, my base is zero almost. But still, I have agreed for this only because of my immense respect for Dr. B.D. Mundraji, who is an octogenarian, who is a source of inspiration and encouragement to all of us, whoever is taking part in this particular presentation. And originally, actually, when I made this presentation, I was after retirement, I was in a private company. There, the HR lady has asked me, "Sir, can you make a talk on ethics for our employees, especially younger people?" So that's how I started it. And that time, I have not referred any book or anything, just whatever came to my mind, I have put up and made a presentation, of course, which was appreciated by the people. That's a different matter. Later, one Genutech robotics company was there. So that's founder happened to see this presentation. He told, "Sir, you make this presentation to our employees." So that also I have done with some, because it was originally meant for kids or the younger people. But Genutech is a somewhat maturing company, so I had to alter little. But today I am very nervous because the gathering here is very, very highly informed, and what was meant for younger boys may or may not be fitting here, but still I want to try my own way. And I have definitely, from the previous presentation, I have fine tuned it to appeal to this distinguished gathering, and also added some formal content based on my own study from internet. A little study I have done and added. Otherwise, normally I would like to make my presentations purely from my mind, not by too much of study. But here I did that. I will acknowledge also wherever I have taken content from internet. I am under no illusion that after this somebody will become ethical or great transformation will come, because I am not any great guru. But you, at the best, you can treat it like a weekend pastime because of Dr. B.D. Mundaji. And if you can, please enjoy. Otherwise, like Subhadra Kumari Chauhan ji has said in her Amar Ujala Kavya, चरणों पर अर्पित है, इसको चाहो तो स्वीकार करो, यह तो वस्तु तुम्हारी ही है, ठुकरा दो या प्यार करो. So with this small request, I will continue my presentation. So before that, what is the actually meaning of ethical behavior, or what is the definition of ethical behavior? We scientists, we have a habit of starting everything by defining first. Some of the humanities books and all, if you take, first chapter of 10-20 pages will be fully about the definition itself. Economics means what is economics, that definition itself will take 20 pages like that. So ethical behavior, in short, if you have to tell, it is characterized by honesty, fairness, and equity in interpersonal, professional, and academic relationships. So all the spectrum is covered. One is personal level, professional, and also academic, where a tutor and a teacher and a student kind of relationship is there, and also in research and scholarly activities. Here, the important word to note is equity. There is a difference between equality and equity. Equality is blindly give equal to all. Okay, so that is one way. But equity is something different. If you see a movie theater, the seating arrangement is like a slope, because that is a equitable opportunity for the people sitting in the front row versus the last row. The opportunity is same to watch the movie. But if it is by just if they put it at a level surface, all may be equal. They are sitting at an equal slope, I mean equal flatness, but that will not be providing equity. So that is the difference between equity. So equity has to account for individual deficiencies, and it has to account for that. So that is the thing, and respects the dignity, diversity, and rights of individuals and groups of people. And a person who demonstrates ethical behavior demonstrates a strong moral code and consistent set of values. Here again, the important word is consistent. Otherwise, everybody can exhibit at some place, but to do it consistently is the most difficult portion of that. And he does the right thing, he or she, doesn't matter, does the right thing regardless of whether they get it credit for it or not. So it's not for something that you are doing. You are doing it because you believe in that system and you want it for the betterment of the society. This sort of behavior is not limited to the workplace. It can be present in every facet of life. It could be with our spouse, it could be with our children, it could be with our friends, or it could be with any of our neighbor. So ethics can be rooted, and they may be for making oneself or even making the world better. Then The best example that comes to our mind immediately when we think of ethics will be Maryada Purushottam, Lord Ram. He is the epitome of dharma. He is a model son or an ideal son, Adarsha Putra, you can call. He is an Adarsha brother. He is a model student also because his own, whenever he went to Vishwamitra and all that time, he has fulfilled all his duties as a student. Whatever was to asked of him, he has done. And a model husband, of course, and a model friend. For Sugriva, he has done everything. He is a model friend. And for a model warrior, model king, and model, most of all, the model human being. And the most important part about Lord Ram is that there are no miracles, unlike many other things when we say where he has cured that or cured. So there are so many miracles which they have done and all that. Lord Rama, no one nobody praise him for the miracles he has done or anything like that. But it is due to the noble qualities that he has got, it due to his ethical behavior. That is what is made him a very important part of our lives. And here the important part is his consistent ethical behavior is one which endeared him to the entire generations which were there after him. Yeah. Then okay, it will be father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, of course, right from his childhood, when he has to done some stealing or when he has smoked and all that. That time itself, his heart so much of repentance. He went and confessed his whatever you call crime or whatever you call. So he has went and confessed to his father about the acts that he has done. And subsequently, as he grew, when he saw injustice in South Africa and all that, everything, no, I don't want to explain. Similarly, Rani Jhansi Lakshmibai or our own Bharat Ratna, the pride of India and from my state, the state where I am here right now, Karnataka, Sir Mokshagundam Vishweswaraya. He used to have those days two different pens on the desk. One is for official use and one is for personal use. That kind of standards in public life they used to maintain. So this is one aspect which comes to our mind, just as an example. Then now I told that some of the things I took formally. This is what I have tried to just see ethics and dharma. What is the ethics? Is the philosophical study of right and wrong conduct, or a system of moral principles that guide behavior. It is a set of rules or a code of conduct for what is considered correct behavior is considered because it's a dynamic thing. There is nothing, ethics are not static. As society is evolving, rules will keep changing. Or the whatever what is acceptable, what is not acceptable will be changing with the society's overall perception of the thing. You take, say, abortion or something. Once upon a time, it was considered illegal, or even now, of course, it's illegal, but various reasons. But in different societies, that understanding is different, either for an individual or a particular group. Dharma is the Indian concept of righteousness, duty, and cosmic order that underpins a virtuous life and the functioning of the universe. Here it says that it is a complex and multifaceted term with no single English equivalent word. To dharma, there is no equivalent English word. And encompassing religious duty, various aspects of life it involves. It encompasses religious duty, moral law, natural law, and the right way of living for both individuals as well as society. In practice, it guides conduct in many aspects of life, from personal and family duties to professional and societal obligations. This is just to see the other rest of the world and our own dharma. This is just to, for completeness, I have put. Now, one of the major talking point when it comes to ethics is ethical versus legal. What is ethical and what is legal? Can there be ethical but not legal, or legal but not ethical? So these are the conflicts. So first, if by definition, by nature, the law is a formal rules codified in statutes and documents, whereas ethics, you will not be finding it in a very binded way, like a document, or whenever there is a law revision, you will find some book is revised or something, or yeah, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita now we have revised and published. So like that, whenever there is an amendment to the law, it is well publicized and it is captured in a document, all that. But ethics are not like that. These are continuously evolving. These are informal principles, often unwritten and unspoken. Source can be law, will be with the governmental or legislative bodies, whatever way you call, or if it is a kingdom, still there somewhere the king will issue what are the rule of the land. Whereas ethics are cultural, societal, religious, or personal beliefs. And enforcement would be by authorities like police or courts, law enforcement. Whereas ethics, there is nothing like an enforcement authority. It is relying on personal conscience of the society as a whole, or social pressure and judgment. And consequences of breaking a law is a legal penalty. It could be fine, it could be imprisonment, it could be loss of license, and in the extreme case, it could be a death sentence also. Whereas for ethics, there are consequences. Nobody can, because you have not been ethical, nobody can punish you. At the same time, it will be having a social consequence, or like damage to reputation, or loss of trust, loss of shame, shame in the society, like that kind of thing is for the ethics. Application universally, law is within a specific jurisdiction, it will be universal for everybody. It is same, raja or praja, whoever it is. If the law says that it should not be done, they have to be punished for that violation. So within that jurisdiction where this law applies, it applies to every individual. Whereas ethics are totally varies among individuals, cultures, religions, so the practices are entirely different. Flexibility wise, law is rigid. Changes require formal legislative processes. Whereas ethics, it's a dynamic thing. Purpose is to control and regulate behavior, maintain social order, and protect rights. That is the purpose of the law. Whereas ethics are there to guide and inspire behavior, okay, and encouraging individuals to act responsibly beyond minimum requirements. So, this is just some examples of why laws often stem from widely accepted, but laws also have their origin in the ethical standards only. From there only, laws are also got evolved. But because they have to consider various possibilities and all, there will be so many interpretations and all these clauses, sub clauses, all that get added up. Like a law against a murder or a theft align with ethical principles. An action can be legal without being ethical, or ethical without being legal. Legal but unethical, using legal loopholes to avoid paying taxes. So whole chartered accountants thing is that only. They will be telling you how to, okay, not always loopholes alone. They will help you how to do financial planning also. But at the same time, if there is a legal way to avoid, people will try to this one. Ethically, it is correct or not, of course, it depends from individual to individual, what is their perception. But the best example I feel in the contemporary times, if we take, I feel is the presidential pardon. Recently, Netanyahu has requested Israeli Prime Minister, their president, to forgive him for all his corrupt practices. Similarly, Biden, just before he was about to leave the term, he knew that he is not going to fight again. He has pardoned all his family members, including his son and all that. He has pardoned them. Trump, whoever has invaded the White House and attacked the White House, he has pardoned all those people, whoever have gone and attacked the White House. So it is legal, perfectly legal, because president has the power to pardon. But ethical standards, will it meet or not? It is up to interpretation of individuals. If you are a conservative, you may have a different view. If you are a Democrat, you may have a different view. In case of Biden, conservative feels it is wrong. In case of Trump, Democrats feel it is wrong, though the act is same. Okay, so that is the uh, okay, legal but unethical. Then there are other things, ethical but illegal. Like even in government, no, we are asked to report anything. If you see, if it is not a good practice or corrupt practice, we are supposed to report. How many of us do that? Because of whatever reasons, either fear or whatever the reasons, we don't do it. Okay, so that is, but it is illegal. Okay, for like that, they are ethical, it could be, but illegal. So, and like civil disobedience movement, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and all, they have done so many times. They have broken the laws. Okay, so Sahaya Nirakarana or whatever we told, disobedience, civil disobedience, they have broken the laws. But the reasons, there are ethical reasons. So ethical need not be legal, legal need not be ethical. In essence, the law sets the minimum standard of behavior required by society, while ethics encourages individuals to strive for a higher moral standard. But by and large, the law itself takes its basis from the overall ethical expectations from the society. Then another aspect is, I was just thinking, ethics versus conscience. See, law is one part, ethics is another part, conscience of an individual, that is an altogether different part. So if you take a definition of ethics is of course system of moral principles or rules of conduct often defined by a group, profession, culture, or a society. Like Bharatiya Vidya Mandir itself, we may have our own rules or ethics, okay, to be followed by all. Whereas conscience is individual's inner sense. This which is evolving by intuitive feeling, sometimes by because of the what is right or wrong. And the source for ethics is external. It comes evolves from society, laws, religions, professional codes. Like that, there are the ethics will evolve from the society around us. Whereas the conscience is coming from internal. Of course, it will be shaped by personal values, our own upbringing, how in which environment we are brought up. That may plays a major role in one individual's conscience. Depending on the type of environment under which we are brought up, our expectations will be different. And our own experiences, in spite of all the, in the same upbringing also, one brother will be one way, another, like Diwar movie, if you think, if you recall, Amitabh goes in one way, Shashi Kapoor goes in another way. The circumstances surrounding them are same. Their father is killed by an unlawful person. But from there, each of them have inculcated their own values inside, or that is the conscience, whatever they felt is right, or how to face that. The routes they have taken are different. So this is by their own experience and belief. So under exactly same ambient surroundings also, the individual behavior may change. Nature, objective, conceptualized, and codified. Ethics are somewhat compared to law, it will is lesser, but by compared to conscience, these are all somewhat objective. Whereas conscience is a subjective matter, it is an emotional matter. Like Diwar example only, if we take once again, it's a matter of emotion. The loss of their father is taken by differently by different protagonists, and it's deeply personal. And enforcement is by societal pressure. Unlike law, ethics is by societal pressure, professional bodies, and sometimes could be by law also. Whereas conscience is a personal guilt. See, our own guilt that I have not done something correct. I should have done this. I have not done. That guilt will kill us. Okay. So actually, till yesterday, I am not prepared much for this. Whatever word presentation I have got, I was kept. But later, I started feeling guilty yesterday evening. Sir, Mundraji has asked me to make this presentation, and I am still keeping the old one which I made 2 years back without even adding, and what meant for students or some just fresh entrants, how I can present it to people with veterans. So I was feeling guilty. Then I have put effort yesterday whole night and today, because otherwise I was not peaceful myself. Okay, or inner tension that I may not be able to do the task assigned to me by Mundaji. I may not, nothing will happen to me. If I am doing, the worst case implication will be next time he will not call me for a lecture. That is the only implication. So with that, this one, but still the guilt, no, that made me to sit. And today also, I broke some ethics. I was sitting in an office, but using the office time to make this presentation. So it is a here legally right or not, that is for individuals to okay take a call. But at that time, so it will be sometimes conflict within conscience itself. One place I am breaking office ethics, other place I am following the, okay, my own inner obligation to Munraji, okay, or the audience, august audience who are available here. Then conflict is your conscience can guide you to act ethically or to dissent from unethical ethical codes like unjust laws. Example, Bhakta Prahlada. After several attempts to transform him Lord Hiranyakashipa, not Lord, okay, King Hiranyakashipa has ordered his soldiers to take him to a forest and either die or leave him to or some like that. So, but these soldiers, either by ethical standards or by legal standards, they were perfectly all right in killing Bhakta Prahlada at that time because it is orders from the king. Once king has ordered, there is nothing. Ethically also, from Rakshasa's perspective, if you see, somebody who is praising Sri Hari is cannot be pardoned. Okay. So that way, ethically also and legally also, they were on the right side if they kill Prahlada. But they could not do it because they were led by their conscience at that time. See, the human or the even if they are okay, Rakshasas, the personal trait of them did not allow them to kill a innocent kid whose only sin was to say Hari. Correct? So their conscience did not allow him to allow them to kill Prahlada at that time. So went and took and left him and came and to the lie to the king or whatever it is like that. So if not Prahlada, if my memory is not serving right, also there are so many stories where a king orders somebody to go and kill a particular thing, but the soldiers will not execute because they are feeling that their conscience is not allowing them to do this inhuman act. So that is the conflict. Okay. And application wise, ethics provide the what, while conscience help navigate the how in complex situations. So what and how, often leading to moral distress when they clash. The biggest problem is when you want to answer your conscience or when you want to satisfy your conscience, when you want to gratify your conscience, at the same time follow ethics also, there will be situations where there is a conflict and that leads to lot of distress, and one should have tremendous moral courage and confidence in oneself to decide which way to go. And I'm just thinking loud, can we say that actually maybe conscience of collection of individuals, that is the society. So it is the conscience of collection of society, I think that is the origin of ethics. That's what maybe we can safely say like that. That's what I feel. Okay. And most common individual, normally all of us are ethically comply many things. Okay. For example, the broad values, if you tell not to hurt or for individual, I'm not telling for a state or kingdom. Okay. That is a different because you are discharging your duties as a lawful citizen or a soldier or something. That's a different aspect altogether. But as a civil individual, if we take, then our ethical compliances, all of us are more or less bound by the principle not to hurt or kill others, not to steal, or general respect for elders and compassion towards the young. These are so much embedded within our brain, no? You cannot break them that easily. Okay. So these are common societal compliances. At the same time, there are several non-compliances which are ethically also not correct and legally also may not be correct. But in our own community, I'm telling right broadly, if I have to tell you, pardon me if I am hurting anyone, but if you tell just in an Indian society as a broad, anything we tell has a statistical distribution. So mean if I take, so that way if I take, I think in our society, when we construct a house, everybody almost violates the rules. Corporation rules or village panchayat rules or say municipal city, whatever council is there. Everybody, most of the people violate. That the rule says you have to leave 10 feet, the front you have to lead 8 feet, back you have to lead 6 feet. With all that, if you do, finally everybody's logic for violating that is, I will be left with nothing to construct. That is the logic we adopt. But the rules also made by us only as a collective, this one. So, but then if I have left instead of 10 feet to 6 feet, nobody will socially ostracize me. It is accepted because we feel that yes, sab karte hain, chalega, like the thing. Or usage of official vehicle for personal use. There are few people, very like I told Shishweshwaraya ji, who used to use one pen for office work and one pen for personal writing a letter. That is different. But otherwise, it's very common. No? सरदार सार है तो सरकारी है तो यूज करेगा उसमें क्या है there are there are actually rules for that also. You can pay for your personal use. There are provisions, but in practice, we all know what happens. Tax compliance. This is a very, very difficult subject, of course. Different countries view differently. Even Boris Becker, who was the at that time, I think, youngest Wimbledon champion and all, he had to face the wrath of the law because of the his auditors or his advisors, no financial advisors, whatever they have done, some tax compliance was not there. He had to go to jail also, I think. Okay, he was my favorite at that time. So that is that society. But in our society, we don't find that anybody not complying with the tax thing. Oh, kya hai yaar, uske लिए पकड़ा गया. If you are caught, you are a thief. So that is the type of these things will come. And turning blind eye to several illegalities around us. Illegality. So like child labor, it is unlawful, and it's also even ethically also not correct. Children who should get an opportunity to study and have their own growth plan or their own depending on their abilities, we are not giving that opportunity when we employ child labor. One is our self-employing, one part. Second is when we see someone employing, we can report. That is there. Actually, Vigilance Day, all government people, we all take a pledge that I will not only follow Quran, I will not only strictly stay by my conscience and all that. Okay. But if I see corruption anywhere else, I will report it to the authority. That pledge we take every year. One day is their Vigilance Day. We take that pledge also. But it is more followed in violation for whatever reason. It may be fear of myself getting suppressed or hamara kya bigda hai, like that we may do. But these are all illegal, but we are turning blind eye. Is it ethical or not ethical? This is again dictated by society. Driving for registration, suppose. Nowadays, it is a known fact that if I want my plan approval for house construction, without praying Bible, it cannot be done. Okay. Once upon a time, driving license also used to be like that, but with more and more use of technology, at least registration, booking of railway tickets, and some things are become somewhat easier. Paying your electricity bill. Otherwise, I remember when I was younger, we were in the line also. You go and even for booking a cinema ticket, you pay some faro more. Now they are doing it legally. That's all. Online itself, they are doing 5,000 rupees ticket also. They will charge. Okay, what we were driving earlier, now it is happening in a different way. But if you want to register for your plan approval, if I pay bribe, nobody will take offense for that. At least society-wise, I am telling, not law. Okay. But whereas an undeserved favor, some job is there, like I think Bengal itself, the teachers recruitment scam or something was there, if I remember correctly. So there you are trying to steal others' opportunity by bribing, which you yourself don't deserve, and you are stealing others. That time that is treated in a different way by society. And I remember one Telugu movie, Pratighatana, where the hero, to start with, when he starts, he just comes and he will be driving the car. At that time, one boy simply, or some people will simply walk across his car without, actually, red signal will be there for them, but still they cross the road. So that time, this fellow shouts at them. Here, the wife is Vijay Shanti. She will be just by the side. Okay. So he will shout, what is this people? They feel that they have got every right. They don't see the car ahead and all. Like that, he shouts. Then he gets down, parks his car. Both of he and his wife will be trying to cross the road when red signal was there. At that time, one car fellow comes and honks. Then he tells, what is this people? Only he is having car or what? We are crossing the road. Can he not see like that? So we always look at the word from own point of view. In the movie, anyway, she doesn't like him. They're diverse. That is a different aspect. But and driving without license in our Indian society, it is not treated as a crime at all. Correct? Unless some accident happens and if the 10-year-old boy kills some 10 people. Otherwise, we take pride that our 8-year-old son is driving a cycle or bicycle or even, motor bicycle. We will be proud that at that age he is doing. Elsewhere, in some other societies, it is treated as a very, very serious crime. Ours also, as per law, it is crime only. But ethically, it's right or wrong, that's different. And in Bangalore, when there was water crisis, if we are putting water to, we have a borewell also, you assume, but still, if you are putting water, outsiders who are going will tell, don't waste water, water waste madbedi. You are rearing your own garden with your own borewell. But when the society as a whole is facing that water problem, you are using that also is treated like. So we always find an excuse to justify our behavior, of course. So finally, the essence of what all these examples I'm telling is the mass behavior is the one which dictates day-to-day morals, neither laws nor anything. So if everybody is indulging in that, whether it is right or wrong, all that is different. Unless society as a whole gets transformed, consciousness comes more and more, conscience becomes more and more this one, it is different. Otherwise, even waste disposal, so much things are there. People will come in a swanky car, so look that side, this side, they throw their garbage on the road and go. Okay. So like that, I have seen all software, some big people, young people with all that. So this is the common bottom line is that it is the mass behavior based on which, even if there are some accepted things, some illegalities or unethical things also may be accepted. That is a These are massively dictated, and it will keep changing with time. Of course, that is where the movements like various movements which have happened since before our independence to after also, they have changed some of these so many practices that we have got. That is where reformers have come, both in religion as well as social. Reformers were there who changed us to make, who guided us to change our practices and all. So there are conflicts, okay, contradictions, conflicts, dilemma of a soldier, especially there are human rights conventions. Right now, there is so much of discussion going on with respect to Venezuela or somebody's that ships, narco terrorist ship. First time strike is okay, but the second time when they are attacking, because they are now without arms and helpless, at that time attacking, is it a war crime or not? Like that discussions are going on. President trying to shift it to defense minister, he is trying to shift it to some vice admiral. Like that, things are there. These are all dilemma of a soldier. Spies, anyway, they are always doing ethically and correct things, maybe, but lawfully. This is for your own. Or with mythological, if you take killing of Val by Lord Islam, or even Dharmaraja has to tell Ashwadhamahata after some time Kunjaraha, or Arjuna killing Karna when he is on ground. Okay, because it is adharma. Karna tells also, I am going to come back, please wait for me. But then Krishna goads him to kill him, and to still he is not ready, Arjuna. Then he reminds him of Abhimanyu. So this is payback in the same coin. So that is the justification which was provided. But in these three instances, rules or conventions were broken for larger good. That is important. Why you are doing? Is it for your individual benefit, or it is for the benefit of the whole community? Or in the case of a king, it is for his kingdom or his praja, like that. But here the advice is given by Narayan himself. It is not because if you start interpreting rules like this, or if we start justifying the things, and if everyone starts interpretation, there will be anarchy. Everybody will have justification for everything. No, see, even murder, if somebody has done, we cannot kill back as per rules. But if I think that because he has killed my brother, I want to kill him, so then there will be anarchy in the society. That's why laws also have come. Okay. But you will see that every time the law may not be helping you to get justice. That's why some things will come. But even in the technical projects execution, when we do, we sometimes we cannot follow all the standards that are specified. That time we can technically take a decision that this particular case we need not follow the standard, so somebody has to waive. That is called waiver authority. But that cannot be taken by every employee. If everyone starts resorting to waivers, then the product will doom to fail. Okay, the project is bound to fail. So the waiver authority has to be with a very senior functionary. In the three cases which I have told, the senior most Narayan himself has given that waiver. So that's why it went ahead and they did. So, but there is one John really saying, all is fair in love and war. And just on the lighter side, I am telling, if the war is for love, then everything is much, much fairer, I think. So bottom line here is again the societal or common benefits to larger people versus breaking an ethical or law for individual gain. So that is where the distinctions will come. And that also cannot be done by everybody except with a collective or some senior authority. So, if you thought thinking of ethical dilemmas, the most educative and powerful narrative, which is the result of a moral conflict for one of the protagonists, ethical conflict, one of the protagonists, like
न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा किं భోగైర్జీవితేన వా స్వజనమును చంపుటకు ఇష్టపడకండి నాకు విజయము
So this is see, just Arjuna could not proceed further because he felt that it is not correct for him to engage in war with his own relatives and friends. But that has led to, because even Narayan simply he did not order that you go ahead and this, because he is facing an ethical dilemma. Lord Krishna felt that it is his duty to clear the whatever dilemma Arjuna had. It has resulted in the world's one of the considered as one of the greatest kavyas or whatever, Bhagavad Gita. So that is the conflict of ethical dialogue. Like I told earlier, the problem comes when conscience and all, when they come, that conflict, it will be really unstabilizing a person. So it needs a lot of, that's where continuous reading and understanding of what is happening around will help to come out of that situation. And few emerging ethical dilemmas in science and technology. Now I told to modern times, so I'm just switching to the science and technology. One is health tracking and the digital twin dilemma. Nowadays, it is possible to create your twin in code and experiment on it to advance healthcare initiatives. Objective is for healthcare. Same thing happened during COVID time also. I research on that virus and all this to see that future you will prevent. But in the process, there can be biological warfare also, other things, or if it goes wrong and it can be exploited, all those things. Neurotechnology and privacy. So neurotechnology is not new, but advances now will can make, you can dictate a person to do what they have to do. Okay, what you want them to do, we can dictate by use of neurotechnology. Slowly, it's evolving towards that. And genetic engineering, that is another thing where designer babies, we are able to define how our baby future. It is not very far. So you can define how your baby has to be absolutely perfect from a parent's perspective. But ethically, is it correct? Why such a diversity? Why so many deformities? All these things are we disturbing the balance by doing it this? If everybody is powerful and everybody is having is a okay Michael Jordan or somebody, then what will happen to the overall society? So these are the ethical aspects with respect to designer babies. And weaponization of technology. Future wars are going to be fought by machines for us. So how that, if the decisions are going to be taken by machines themselves, then what happens to the human component there? All those things are another things. And misuse of personal information. Now we know so much information is collected, privacy, okay, and deep fake. This is another great disadvantage. I mean, this one of the new technology, modern technology. These are very, very negative. This one, deep fake. You'd never know whether it is right or wrong. They can make it so much look real, especially during elections and all. These things can be misused. People believe. You create a scenario as though your own brother or somebody is being killed at some place, which is not true. But it spreads because of the social media so fast, the damage is done. So lack of oversight and acceptance of responsibility. Many of the apps also, when it happens nowadays, many technologies are not owned entirely by that particular technology. There are hybrid stacks, what they call. So something is from some Microsoft, something else is from some other company, something is from okay Apple, like that. Various stacks. Finally, when something goes wrong, everybody shifts responsibility. Recently, I think Windows or something has crashed. That time they found that the root is somewhere else. Correct. So it was not at all owned by Windows, that Microsoft. So like that. So because of these things, lack of oversight is becoming difficult. Responsibility acceptance is not happening, and use of AI, that is known facial recognition everywhere nowadays. See this bio identification and all those things. While they are useful for the intended purpose, there are so many unintended consequences can be there. And AI as a replacement of jobs. In America, they are predicting that. Of course, many such predictions have not come true also, but we don't know. Replacement of, there will be a civil war because of the AI, because people may lose jobs, and few will become very rich and others will become very, very, the whatever the whole idea of economic activity is to distribution of wealth. That may not be happening if you AI and they take really the predictions that are happening, or into a very short sector it may get focused. Health tracking of individuals and bias in AI technology. Now you can induce using AI, Wikipedia and all. Now there is a lot of criticism with respect to Wikipedia because they give a content in such a way that with respect to ideology that they have in mind, that because our source of information is Wikipedia. If it comes from there, we treat it like Bhagavad Gita only. Okay. So we feel that it is perfect. But there they can nicely introduce whatever they want. They can propaganda also can be done. These are all the ethical issues which are being debated in the SNT community. And autonomous vehicles. So who is responsible in an accident involved with an autonomous vehicle? It is driving on its own. Whom you will find responsible for These are all the aspects which have to be think. So for that, what are the practices in technology ethically? Respect for the employees and customers. This has to be. These are building principles of new technologies. We have to see moral use of data and resources. It should not be used only for the purpose for which it is collected, and responsible adoption of disruptive technology. So that responsible is a very weighing a lot of weight is there in that, and create a culture of responsibility among all the stakeholders. Everyone should feel that they are responsible to society. They cannot misuse the technology by whatever. So ethical decisions in technology should not be taken lightly. If we believe that technology can help to solve the world's problems, addressing the ethics involved is the only way to get us there. Then I'll move to corporate ethics also. Which company comes to your mind when we think of corporate ethics in India? And House of Tatas, of course. The very name of Tata evokes trust, a rare commodity in contemporary corporate world. Professionally run, it is not family based. These slides I have made entirely from my own mind. Employee welfare, including families, Tata. So welfare is so good. Actually, one person I met when in a flight. So he was telling how right from Kalyana Mandap and all, everything, if you are within a Tata colony, everything is taken care for a very nominal expenses. And subsequent to Bombay 9/11 attack, how Ratan Tata's handling of the total guests, employees, a presentation I have attended by a top management of a Tata person, it was so revealing. And corporate social responsibility of Tatas is well known, not entirely driven by profit. If that is the case, they would not have acquired a loss-making Air India, but they wanted to. They had that pride, so they wanted to take, and many more. So this the list is endless. And same way, ethics in software world. If we take Infosys and Namma Narayana Murthy in Karnataka, we tell our own Narayana Murthy. So Infosys name is synonymous with corporate ethics and regulatory compliance. Satyama was dumped because of the regulatory compliance not being there. Highest levels of corporate governance, professionally run. Even Narayan Murthy cannot get a job to somebody he wants in Infosys. Even if he recommends, it cannot happen unless he qualifies by the regular procedure. So career progression also is very okay. As institution is growing, some small things may happen, but still they are driven by ethical standards. World-class training center, the Mysore Center is excellent. New inductees, such a great reputation. Actually, in recent Bangalore Tech Summit organized by government of Karnataka, see, normally any conferences and all, what happens, people attend morning inaugural, and then they, by lunchtime, after sessions, split sessions and all, 10 people will be there in each hall. And evening, people will go for gala dinner, that's all. Nobody will. But at 6 o'clock, there was a fireside chat of Narayana Murthy by our Zeroda, Nikhil Kamath. So I saw at that time, I was also there, the hall capacity of that tent was 2000 or so. It was jam packed at 6 p.m. of the opening day, and all Karnataka ministers were there. That is the tremendous respect which Narayana Murthy ji commands among the professionals. So that is purely because of his ethical and the corporate standards they have set. Okay, despite all the recent criticism that comes for 70-hour work week, the problem with social media is some 100 reactions, we feel that whole world is against. But the 2000 people who attended, that was after that incident only. So the 2000 people who attended at 6 p.m., okay, on that day testify to the what is the reality. Okay, but the social media is another distortion of the technology. Yes, business establishments, Warren Buffett, who is okay for all the people who pray, who or so much Lordess, Goddess Lakshmi Bhaktas. For all of them, Warren Buffett is the see, literally we are seeing him. So he said it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you will do things differently. So all corporate people, if they remember this in mind, for example, we are having Future Retail, S Bank, Satyam Computers, all of them, such a great reputation they have built, but their credibility was lost in no time because of the not following uh, ethical behavior. So many decisions, the defined standards of responsibility, accountability, and competence. They should be there to improve the lives of staff, clients, stakeholders, and general public. And another code of ethics wise for corporate, the importance of putting patients first. If a hospital, if I take, you should policy should be there clear. What is business code of ethics? Or if you are in a university, suppose you're running a university, being objective and impartial when assessing students. That should be the ethical main core objective of the university, and also facilitating the exchange of differing viewpoints. Same way, culture of transparency, sincere communication, these are all important aspects. And ethical attitudes wise with the best interests of others in consideration. So ethics importance is not just ourselves, we have to keep others also, respect for others, open communication, responsibility, taking responsibility for errors. That is a great ethical behavior, to accept responsibility. Yes, who has done this? I have done the mistake. Everybody tells about the story of Abdul Kalam, correct? Abdul Kalam himself told about Satish Dhawanji, when the launch with failed and when it succeeded, how he was shielded when it was failed, and he was pushed to forward when the launch was a success. That is what Abdul Kalam ji used to tell in all his stories about Satish Dhawan. So that the responsibility for errors, acceptance, that is an example of ethical attitude in the corporate world. And benefits, of course, employees will be happy, improved workplace culture, observing legal regulations, and public image also. If you are Satyam's image has lost one day, it has ruined. Otherwise, it was ruling. It was number one company in Andhra Pradesh. Everything was lost in one day. Customer retention and engagement, they have lost every business. Later, Mahindra acquired, that's a different thing. Streamlined decision making procedures. So now comes the big question: what can I or you do for the company? I told you originally it was meant for an audience of younger people. So for them it was made, not for this audience maybe, or but here also if some youngsters are there. So for, even in government, you may feel that government Babu log enjoying and all, but if you go by book, there are some code of conduct rules are there. It defines the conduct of a civil servant in public life. Conflict of interest while executing official duties. Any interview, if you are attending, also we have to first declare that if we are going for job interviews, we have to say that none of the candidates are related to me. We have to give a declaration. Even within our own promotion interviews, if we are going, we have to give a declaration stating that the candidate is not related to me. Investments, speculation, we are not supposed to speculate. The first rule in that investments related, it says you cannot speculation. It is our own money, but you are not having freedom to do. Or anything, those days when I joined, anything about 10,000 if we spend, we have to declare. We have to show the sources of income. Okay, with all that things happen, that is different, but provisions are there for this. And when you are going abroad, even as a diplomat, if you go on a red passport, that is diplomatic visa, okay, that when we go also, there are, actually it is not a privilege. Red passport is it is more of responsibility than a privilege, because so many do's and don'ts are there. What other people can go and enjoy in Hong Kong, if you go on a red passport, you cannot do it. Okay, so that is the type of things which are discussed. Social justice, inclusion, diversity, for all of them, there are rules for central government employees, and so on. Non-compliance is punishable based on degree of violation. In short, being a government servant, one needs to be a model citizen. So these are the rules. And our own role in enhancing company culture will be a team player. Be a team player for good of the company. It is not for either individual or team interest. Finally, our goal should be the company's good. Never claim false credit. I will tell one example. Dr. Kastur Rangan, he was project director of IRS 1A, first Indian operational, semi-operational we called. After it became successful, we called it as operational satellite. So that when he came from Russia after launch, he was so happy. So he, with full force, he just walked through to congratulate one Mr. M.G. Chandrasekhar was there. So he was sitting in mission console. He did not move even after seeing Rangan, because he has to continue do his job at the mission control. He was doing it. Then Dr. Rangan simply walked through. A glass door was there. He did not see the glass. He simply walked through that. The glass broke and all that. So with that Josh he came. So I'm just telling the feelings of people when the success is there. At that time, he came and appreciated at the inertial systems console. Vedachalam was there, who was the leader of that inertial systems unit. To him, he told Vedachalam, your gyro worked. Congratulations. Because there was so much of worry about gyro, it used to cost crores if we had to import. Finally, some bold decision Dr. Rangan took, and we have made indigenously. So at that time, there was a lot of debate which type of, there were two options of technology to be adopted. Vedachalam was suggesting some particular technology, and Dr. Krishnan was supporting another. And finally, Dr. Krishnan, being a expert in gyros, his choice was taken. Though the leader of the institution is having other choice, but expert's opinion was honored, and that gyro flew and it worked very well. So he was very happy, Dr. Rangan. He appreciated Vedachalam. Your gyro worked. Immediately he told, not mine, it is Krishnan's gyro, he told. So that kind of due credit to all the contributors, your subordinates. Don't take false credit. Honesty in reporting mistakes is important, accepting responsibility. Learn your job thoroughly. You should be authority in your own discipline, continuous learning. Never criticize our company outside. Whatever issues are there, we can do internally, but not outside. Outside, you should be a loyal company employee. Now, that is not the rule. No, everything is put it in LinkedIn or not LinkedIn, other Reddit or somewhere. You criticize your company, 100 people will praise you. That should not be the thing. Rise to the occasion, avoid habitual lying. You will be caught. Nothing can win back the trust. Develop good communication skills. I was telling, as I told, it is mainly for youngsters. Be ready to help and seek help. Some people don't want to help. Some people don't want to take help. Both are not correct. We should be able to help who are in need, and we should take help when needed. Develop emotional intelligence and emotional maturity that is required for today's generation, because otherwise people are getting depressed very fast. So that is another thing. And password security, okay. So be honest to yourself, your colleagues, the boss, and the company. That is what is from the individual side. So I started with Subhadra Kumari Chauhanji. I don't know, something I have scribbled overnight, I thought, and well, so once again I end up with my words. यह तो वस्तु तुम्हारी ही है, ठुकरा दो या प्यार करो. धन्यवाद आप सबको. And Munra ji, once again thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sir, I have concluded.
Thank you, sir.
सर आप मुझे सर नहीं बोल सकते. प्रकाश राव ही बोलना है.
एक विद्वान को तो सर ही बोला जाएगा.
सर मैं विद्वान, आपके सामने मैं कुछ नहीं हूं सर. ठीक है सर, ओके.
Although Mr. Prakash Rao is younger to me, but I hold him in highest regard.
Thank you, sir.
When I met him first time, from that time I was attracted to him by his qualities. I saw the truthfulness and kindness and something special in his eyes which attracted. Although we met somewhere in Hyderabad in a marriage ceremony or something. Since then I have met him number of times. I have found him a wonderful human being, very good friend. The talk is about dilemma in ethical behavior or ethics or ethical dilemmas. Talking about dilemmas, a famous dilemma where he was in a dilemma, as Mr. Rao answered about his dilemma, that whether he should fight or not fight. He said that there are Putran, Pitri, Pita, Mahan, Guru. All these people are there. How I can kill them? And he went to the extent that I would prefer that they should kill me than instead of I color my hands with their blood. Lord Krishna was known. And then ultimately he said, Karpanya doso pahata svabhava prachami tam dharma sammudha cheta yat shreyas bruhi tanme shishyasteham swadhivam tvam pratam. कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभाव पृच्छाविताम धर्म सम्मूढ़ तेजा। धर्म का मुझे ज्ञान नहीं है, धर्म से सम्मूढ़ हो गया हूं। और जब वह धर्म सम्मूढ़ हो जाता है तो उसके मन में कमजोरी आ जाती है, और कमजोरी आ जाती है तो कार्पण्यता आ जाती है, कायरता, कमजोरी। दिस dilemma on what is ethical and what is not ethical, that has been there from time immemorial. Whether we go through certain incidents described in Vedas or Puranas or Mahabharata or Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, or later on in Buddha Charitam, and even up to Paula. So this problem, dilemma is ethical. What is ethics? And what is ethical? It's a bhava, it's a feeling. And who is feeling? A human being. एक इंसान वो फील कर रहा है. Whether this is ethical or whether this is not ethical, this feeling is in a human being. And this is where he is in dilemma. According to the situation of the society and family and upbringing, the dilemma can be different. What is ethical for one, it cannot be ethical for other. What is ethical for a jihadi, for whom a kafir is wajib qatl, and he considers it ethical. But for us who say that sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu nirabha, sarve bhadrani pashyant, va kaschit dukhbhag. Vishwabandhutva. So, you see, the dilemmas are different. Then how it is decided that what is right and what is wrong? And even if you feel, the ultimately how you act. आप करते क्या हो? There the question comes of dharma और कर्तव्य. जिस भाव को आप धारण करते हैं, जिसके अनुसार आप कर्म करते हैं, वो आपका धर्म हो जाता है और वही आपका एथिक्स डिसाइड करता है. अब वो धर्म क्या का डिसीजन कैसे लें? बड़ा मुश्किल था मामला. महाभारत का प्रसंग आता है जब एक जगह एक यक्ष ने युधिष्ठिर से प्रश्न किया, का पंथा, कौन सा रास्ता हो? तो कहता है कि तर्को प्रतिष्ठः, तर्को अप्रतिष्ठः, श्रुतियो विभिन्नाः, नैको मुनि यस्य बत प्रमाणम्, धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुहायां महाजनो येन गतस्य पथ्य. Logic is not perfect. It is unstable. The Shastras or books or teachings are different. What is good in Quran is not good in Gita, people say. सो तर्को प्रतिष्ठा श्रुतियो विभिन्ना नैको मुनि यस्य मत प्रमाणम। ऐसा कोई महापुरुष, कोई मुनि नहीं हुआ कि जिसका मत सारे लोग बात, सारी दुनिया में। तब ऐसा लगता है कि धर्मस्य तत्वम निहितम गुहायाम। धर्म का जो तत्व है वो गुहा में रखता है, गुफा में रखा हुआ है। तब क्या करें? महाजनो ये न गतस्य पंथ। महान लोग जिस रास्ते से गए हों वही हमारा रास्ता है। अब देखिए, फिर एक डिलेमा आ गया, कौन किसको महान माने, किसको नहीं महान माने। एनीवे, these problems have been there before the human। लेकिन बेसिक चीज ये है कि एथिकल डिलेमा होता है इंसान, ह्यूमन बीइंग। लेट अस सी व्हाट इज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग। बायोलॉजिकली वी हैव बॉडी, लेकिन द क्वालिटी इज द वैल्यू सिस्टम that makes it, and that value system of a man, वो मनुष्य के मूल्य, मानव के मूल्य, those are universal। दया, करुणा, सत्य, अहिंसा, शौर्य, अपरिग्रह, ये यूनिवर्सल वैल्यूज है। एंड धर्म, पंथ, जिसमें इन मानवीय मूल्यों का समावेश हो, उस धर्म को ही हमने सनातन माना है। पंथ अलग अलग है। उस धर्म के अनुसार चलना क्या एथिकल है? यह प्रश्न भी आता है। क्या धर्म के अनुसार हम काम करते हैं तो धर्म का निर्णय जहां सही हो तो वो एथिकल है या नहीं है? तो प्राय प्राय ये देखा गया है कि जो अनएथिकल है, जिससे कि जो मनुष्य का जो भाव है वो बिगड़ता हो, उसको धर्म नहीं माना। जो मनुष्य की जो वैल्यू सिस्टम है उसको जो तोड़ता हो वो धर्म नहीं है। ये बहुत से प्रश्न है जो विचारणीय है। हमारे वैज्ञानिक मित्र राव जी ने बड़े बड़े प्रश्न उठा दिए हैं। मैं तो खुद सोच में पड़ गया भाई। इन्होंने ऐसे प्रश्न और ऐसे उज्ज्वलों में डाल दिया है कि वापस मैं सोचता जा रहा हूं। लेकिन एक बात मुझे जरूर लगी कि जो मानवीय मूल्य है, ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, बेस्ड ऑन दैट the principles of ethics, what is ethical and non-ethical, can be decided or may be decided। और डिलेमा का आंसर भगवान ने गीता में दिया है। अब गीता को समझना जो है वो हर एक के बस की बात नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी उसका अध्ययन करने से क्या होता है। वैसे हमारे यहाँ बहुत से नीति शास्त्र भी है। कृष्ण नीति के अलावा बहुत सी नीतियां हैं। हमारे चाणक्य की नीति भी थी। जिस चीज को चाणक्य एथिकल समझता था, हो सकता है कि वो किसी के लिए एथिकल नहीं हो, लेकिन नीति शास्त्र हमारे यहाँ रहे हैं। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि वैल्यू बेस्ड जो बिहेवियर होता है, ह्यूमन वैल्यू बेस्ड, वो प्राय प्राय एथिकल सा होता है और वही धर्म है। मैं प्रकाश राव जी का बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ। इन्होंने इस उलझे हुए प्रश्न को बहुत सुंदर ढंग से चर्चा में चर्चित किया. He has discussed thoroughly. We would like to discuss and debate this subject again, and hope someday Mr. Rao will be here in Calcutta.
Jarur, sir.
We will discuss with him again.
Sure,
One
sir.
thing I can tell you, he is a very fine gentleman, perfect gentleman. So, and as a scientist, after all, he is a very valued member of the society. He has raised very interesting questions, very interesting points. He has given certain points. I would recommend that please listen to his lecture again, this talk again. And if you have any query, any question, any suggestion, please do send us. We will also forward it to Prakash ji. Thank you, Prakash ji.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar. Namaskar, sir. Thank you, sir.
Leaving them. Sir, both here. So, who is concluding this session?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I am leaving. Okay.
Thank you
Just
very
to
much.
searching where to leave.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Thank you.